So good morning, everybody, and welcome to Romancing Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Today, we're romancing Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique with somebody who's not here. We're romancing the memory of somebody we lost. An OGM, an original Grenville member or original Grenville man, the late the late Kaibo, as is usually called, or Lao, or Sikyo of Cook Hill. His proper name is Gilbert Murray Griffith. With most people, and on shows before I did with Paul and Patrick, they mentioned him as Kaibo. So you may know him as Kaibo or as any of the other names he's had. Today, helping me to celebrate his legacy is Edwin Joseph, who is Paul. So Paul, welcome, and I'd like you to start off by doing a little bit of an introduction to everybody here.
Yes, first of all, thank you. We called you this week on short notice to ask you to help us share this. I think this is an important occasion for OGMs. And you with open arms, you welcome the opportunity with short notice to do this. And the reason why we wanted to do this is because we believe that, it's imperative to archive the contribution of important OGMers. I personally, and I know a lot of support, we see Kai was an icon in Grenville. And I think he will be recognized, and I think we need to be able to save that recognition. So 20 years from now, 50 years from now, even 100 years from now, people could go back to pay reference to it. I think we missed the opportunity to do something like that to some of the key icons in Grenville. I could recall Kingy. I could also I cannot recall Wavell, but being around my mom and the older people around, they always talk about Wavell, how special a person he was. Personally, we believe that Robbo, Lloyd has given a big contribution to everybody that went to Methodist and SAS. And we also know Cresswell Julian, the principal of SAS, what he has done. So I believe that it's important to timestamp those contributions and make sure we never forget it. So that's the purpose of this. I was fortunate enough to have to reach out to a few important, Grenville guys to ask them to participate, and I will just want to call out their names. And I must say, after 2 seconds of the conversation, they all agreed to do so. And I must also recognize that there is about 100 other guys we could get on the call, but in the interest of time and the interest of effectiveness, I just think it wasn't practical. So anybody that got left out is not because we didn't want them, it's just because of time limitations, and we're just trying to do this thing. So we are fortunate to have Randolph Hamlet, better known as Scope, original Grenville guy, lives in Toronto. We also have Michael Felix, Nico, who way back with Kaibo in Bruno House in Old Church. We also got Herman Alexander, OGM living in Brooklyn, that's doing a lot of things for the community himself. We also got Martin Harvey, my personal mentor growing up as a kid. And we got Patrick Simmons, my uncle, my brother, and also, a big contributor in the community. We got Calvin Vincent, Meh, original. We couldn't do this without having guys like Meh and Rooster on the line, Wayne Walker. And last but not least, a mini icon in his own right, old Georgie is on the line, which is the brother of Kaibo. And we put his name on the list last because we wanted to wrap this thing up in a really nice and historical way. So without any further ado, back to you, and I'll just listen to the wonderful stories.
Okay, thank you. But let me first extend my condolences to Georgie. Old Georgie, he used to be called, right? Is it
yes.
Old Georgie?
Yes.
Okay. So your phone says Junior iPhone.
That's my real name.
Okay.
But everybody know me as Old Georgie. If you went in Grenville and asked for Junior, they might send you up in Simona, you have a junior up there or another junior, but you just say Old Georgie, the roller skate man, you're well there. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's sort of how I remember you. And I couldn't, Paul, you sent me a picture of Kaibo. It's loaded onto the other phone. I'll try to get it during our conversations and see if I could put it up. It's a picture with Georgie and Kaibo. So we'll try to share that later on. I have to, and I apologize to everybody else that I'm going to single somebody out because I lost a bet. Mr. Martin Harvey is here. I lost the wager. Good morning, Mr. Harvey. Semi. Very impressed to have him here. For a long, long time, except for Grenville people, most other Grenadians thought he was a ghost because I always talked of him and he never showed up. So I'm really impressed that he's here. I saw Nico as well. Nico, I know too. Hi, Nico. You're at Patrick. Welcome. So the way I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna have a lot they want to share. So anybody who wants to just start off, I don't know if old Georgie wants to start sharing a memory. Good morning.
Yeah,
welcome. The floor is yours.
Good morning, Michael.
Morning, Papa. How you doing?
Everything's cool. Everything is cool.
Yeah. You start playing football at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
We were in school together. And we both I and Kaibo same age. Me and we were footballers and you admire to play football. So that show you how talented you are.
Senior, Michael, give us a little insight when you guys was in Bruno House in Old Church, man. You guys went to place Methodist and you gave Big Rob get sick and things like that, man. Break it down.
With the old church system, you had what you call a house system. You had Pierre, Bruno, Kaibo was in Bruno, I was in Pierre, and we competed among ourselves. Everything in the old church was competition. Yeah, basketball, football, cricket, gymnastics, everything was competitive in the old church. And at the end of the day, well, Kaibo will be on top. Then Kaibo move on. Come on, as we grow up, Kaibo, I went last, he didn't go secondary school, so he didn't have a secondary school life. Huh? His sporting development continued still. And he was managed well, you know, Grenville, big in basketball and football. You had Trent Young, one of the top football team.
Yeah.
So Paul used to play football though for Trenchtown, right?
At Grenville. And he was a main player with Simmons and Basil and other players. Trenchtown. When going for basketball, well, you know, from the park straight into the market in basketball. Then we had more tense competition in basketball. Yeah, on them boys and them, you know. So Kaibo competition was real good and powerful. I guess in them time in the 70s and 80s, I guess he didn't have say the push and the right set of people to let him move on to be a top track and field athlete, because I remember time he went to Mexico and high jump for Grenada, and he came third.
Wow.
And when he come back, he told me that guys tell him, if you only learn to flap, you know the style of high jump flapping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then guys tell him, if he learn to do the flap, nobody beat him in the world, you know? But that time it's sand people jumping on, he had no mat, nothing. Point out Kaibo the jump, the crowd is going over the wall in a kind of way.
Yeah, straddles.
So he told me that if you only learn to flap, he's nobody in the world to beat him. So that good Kaibo was as a high jumper. You know, he went on to play basketball for Grenada. I don't feel he get enough chance most months. They were so good around that time with the system. Kaibo?
Sorry, Kaibo. Jeez. And who did you play for?
I play for Revival Ethiopian Stars.
Okay.
Nico couldn't make trench down team.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna try and see Mr. Randolph Mack. Scope, are you on?
Okay, thanks. Right.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks.
Right.
Scope? Okay, I don't think Scope's here.
After Scope, I'll feel I call you.
We could go straight on to Tolly.
All right then.
Come on, so you're going on to Tolly.
Tolly. That's Mr. Holman Alexander. And to be honest, the seeing you now is not, I can't recognize, I only know Nico because I saw Nico recently, but most people, and you wouldn't even remember me, I'm remembering you from the 70s and 80s, so I'm remembering your baby faces, not your adult faces. So I apologize, there's not many people I can just point out and say this is that person or that's that person right now. So Mr. Tolly, are you there?
Yes, that's Tolly. Good morning. Originally from Ladig.
Really? What's your last
name? I have a lot of roots in Ladig. My dad and my mom from that area.
Alexander? All right.
It's and the Thomas.
So Grenville stole one from us. Go ahead.
No, that's just my parents. I'm Grenville, OGM all the way.
Oh, there you go.
Well, Mr. Bridgman, go back me up later. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on this forum this morning to pay tribute to an icon and a close friend, Kaibo Griffith. And in a few words, I would say Kaibo was the best all-around athlete in St. Andrews, maybe Grenada on a whole. And his skills and talent was naturally. And everything he tried, he was good at it. Like somebody put it, he was always good in everything he did. And I really supported that. I know him in the old church with Nico and Joseph Lazyman. As Nico mentioned earlier, yeah, they did beat up Methodist. Kaibo scored a lot of goals from Lazyman and Nico. And Mr. Roberts was upset with the old church after that. But going on to basketball, but before that, Kaibo did gymnastics, soccer, basketball, and athletics, and he excelled in all of them. That's what made him an all-round athlete. I remember him playing in the first competition organized in Grenville, like St. Andrews inter-village teams. He played for Trenchtown, and then later on they changed to Moss City Kings, sponsored by Moss, the musical band. And he excelled. He was on the team with Cliff Johnson, Kelly, Osford, and Kyote and Tar and those guys. And it was good competition. I mean, Patrick excelled with his shoes nets. They couldn't touch them, but Kaibo was very competitive. Cahoots to Sam's. I think they were the most winning team in basketball in Grenville. Yes, Kaibo participated for the St. Andrews team, and he excelled, represented us always, and he was always a dominant figure in that team. When we went to Union Island in '86, he was one of the senior players there, and he was able to win that competition, first of many competitions we won there. And I remember he getting called for the national basketball team trials. Unfortunately, I don't think he did, but he got called for trials for the national team. And as a person and a brethren, he was always there, to support and to help when it comes to our organization of the St. Andrews Basketball League. He also played for Andrews Haddis. I remember he and Kester Hood and Candle, they had a good team. Andrews Haddis, sponsored by Miss Pauline Andrews. That's about it, put in a nutshell. I'm glad to be a part of this forum this morning where we can pay tribute to Kaibo, recognize his contribution sporting activities in Grenville and Grenada as a whole. And I would like to thank the host and co-host, participants, and viewers. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Thank you. And it must be exciting to see everybody else here this morning to kind of reconnect back.
Yes, it is.
So next up, we have Mr. Martin Harvey. Mr. Martin Harvey, are you there? Unmuted.
Where's the romancing? Where's the romancing going on? Is it going on right here?
Good
So you
morning.
lost your bet. You have lost your bet. You have lost your bet. So pay up. You're gonna pay up. You see, I just came from the dome, and actually I just had a game this morning. And I came from the dome, and I'm outside in cold Toronto weather.
All right.
And how did you?
So let me just say this. Let me do a plug here for Kaibo. Only Kaibo could have pulled you out. I used the wrong names in the past. I use Patrick, I use Paul, I use Nico, I use many names. The name Kaibo is the only name I didn't use yet. And thank God. I mean, I'm sad that he's passed, but I'm happy that we're able to get everybody here today, at least, and you in particular, to celebrate his life. Mr. Simon, romance us about Kaibo.
Not because I'm sitting close to I could mean a romance in him. Anyhow, thank you very much for having such a session. And it's very good. The premise of it is very good. We cannot deny that. So with that in context, I'm decided to really participate and participate well. Mm-hmm. I know time is against us, so I'm going to choose to highlight one or two occasions or encounters I had with Kaibo. Mm-hmm. First of all, I would like to start off with track and field, because I think, notwithstanding that he did so many things and was so outstanding in a lot of the areas, but in terms of national recognition, I think the track and field, especially the high jump, is where he really made his name nationally. Because how he got on the national team was by coincidence.
Really?
Because he was traveling through Tantin on that particular day when they had the national trials. I was not present. Other people that were and Jericho and others who were top high jumpers and long jumpers in the country at the time, they were there participating. And my good friend came up, and actually he started jumping where most of the guys had actually dropped out. Added to that, he jumped the height with his long pants on, with our jeans on. So that was a clear indication that he was the best. So he got onto the national team, and as Nico pointed out, he won a medal. I think he came third. Yeah. Tricks. And the whole story behind Nico, so I need not say anything more. Tricks. No, the other. Hey.
Did he drop with a tight jeans on?
Jeans, yeah. Tight jeans, yeah.
That was the image I had in my mind, because he used to wear skinny jeans, as far as I remember.
Yeah. And he won the event and qualified. Then I could also recall too that Kaibo was say what you want. He was a hustler, and when he hustling, he looking out for everybody that come in his path. Because I used to benefit from whatever, you know. But that day in particular, he came in the market and he was hustling the jewel newspaper. He was hustling. So he came in and he started hustling. He started selling papers and things like that. Dr. Johnson, Dr. Baptiste, myself, a couple of other men, there everybody had a papers reading. Next thing the police came. Because that paper so small. The police came out within a matter of seconds. The whole place just clear up, and Kaibo in front. So he disappeared, everybody disappeared. So the police didn't really get anyone, but they they got the papers and they confiscated it. So that again too was a good encounter. Then I could recall to that the first spikes that I really owned as a track athlete came from Kaibo. Those are blue spikes. You have big spikes. It's size 12. I remember using it myself and another student at SAS at the time, Teddy, because he wasn't Form 1 or Form 2, but he had big feet. So myself and the other two persons in the school that could have used the spikes. So, that again, the type of person he was. And finally, I would say, I came across a lot of athletes throughout the state. And I want to believe that Kaibo was the best talented athlete, all-rounded athlete that I ever met. Fellas like Eugene Papa was good in track and field. Carol was good in basketball. KQ was good in basketball and soccer to a lesser extent. But Kaibo was good in all the sports, including gymnastics. that was a old church boy thing. Yeah, only old church alumni to do gymnastics at junior time.
I heard gymnastics, but I was waiting to ask what form of it. Was it swinging the bars? Like, was it, what kind?
Somersaults. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tricks. Old church used to sing too. Kaibo used to sing as well.
Yeah, well, I was an artist too, because you remember, I think you remember this call. I think the soca he sang, I think either 2 lines.
Yeah.
You went into the tent?
Yeah. You had 2 lines, I think, yeah. I think it was something about the skull. But yeah, only 2 lines. So, this man he made a great contribution towards the development of the parish, and in particular the Grenville area. He's gone, but I don't think memories like that will live on. And events like this, will help keep his memory alive and to share with the younger ones coming up. So I thank the organization, especially Edwin, for that, for making that contribution in terms of organizing. And I'm sorry that some of his siblings I'm seeing there, they won't get the opportunity probably to say anything. It's probably so later on we may have to look at trying to get them in to say something concerning him probably after the burial. So once again, thank you very much.
Now you on.
Semi, you're on.
Yeah, I know, I'm back. I'll wait for your signal.
You're on.
Go ahead. We're romancing.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, this is a working day for me. Anyway, but hey, Tricks, how you doing there?
Tricks outside.
Anyway,
this is Lazy Man.
Oh, what's up? Lazy Man was one of those who recruited me to Revival. He and
tell them.
Oh, yes, they did. And Tricks didn't know who the mystery man they were
Edwin, I'm here.
All right, solid.
Edwin, I'm here.
Yeah, thank you. You went
all right.
First. Thank you. Let's
So
come to you.
Edwin.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Paul.
Thank you.
It seems like you and Cindy finally got me, right? It's okay. That's all right. But I think it's really important that I show up, or if I care about archiving the wonderful moments in the history of Grenville and what I have accomplished and what we need to accomplish more, then I have to raise my hand and be part of what's going on. I can't be on the sideline and not contribute. So you got me. You got me there. I mean, my side of Kaibo now is a little different from maybe others would give it. I hope that we present that cultural icon that he was, because when you're talking about dreadlocks, you're talking about Kaibo being the flashiest one of them all. When you're looking at style, and long before sneakers were a thing, and making tight jeans and rolling up the jeans, to make a break at the bottom, right? All those belts that hang from the front of you. I mean, this is loud. All right. And when you look at it from the athletic side of things, this man had a vertical leap better than anybody that Grenada ever produced. Because this guy would just be standing or two-step and elevate to reach way over 10 feet. Ooh. That it's amazing. Now, I was taller than Lau, but he could have dunked before I ever learned to dunk. And how is that possible? Because of that athletic prowess of his. And my side of contributing and holding people accountable is that when we look at Kaibo, we saw a talent. We saw a talent that never got developed. And that's my problem, and that's my way of coming at it. Training beats talent any day, unless talent is trained. And if the system then was failing to develop a talent like Kaibo, and we are still failing to develop talent today, that's why I show up on your show, Mrs. Cynthia. To let people know that if we had a system in place to create the avenues and the opportunities for an athlete like Kaibo, we would have had a world champion. We would have had an Olympic champion. But if we had to straddle over 6 and 6.5 and 197 and fall in that sand in Grenville there, whether it's, Strasbourg's flop, no, we couldn't do that. So I think, for not for old Georgie, but I don't know, the kids, but if they want to understand what kind of family member, a father, or an individual that Kaibo was, as Trick says, I still consider him to be one of, if not the most talented athlete, all-rounded athlete I have seen in my time. And I'm a competitor. I played against him, right? I don't think we were played together, all right? Because Nico, was he on the SAFL team?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he was. No, you stick. See, the thing with Lau, and I'll give you a personal piece that you'll get it. This, even in Toronto when he was here, people may see him as a trendsetter, trailblazer, and a somewhat of a risk taker. But we have to connect those things. This is what makes championship athletes. You're a champion if you are willing to be a daredevil. And I got to kind of joke around with old Georgie there, but people like Chucky, old Georgie, Gorgon, and these guys and them, they were daredevils. You see them on television, and you're all wonderful. We had them in Grenville. We had the people who were willing to do gymnastics without cushions on concrete and asphalt. So when you take into consideration what athletes like Kaibo, their ability to develop, their ability to excel without training, this is the call for us to put systems in place so we would never have an undeveloped and untrained Kaibo ever again. I hand over to you.
Thank you. I agree with that. When you talk about trendsetter, we talk about skinny jeans, and I particularly remember, I think Kaibo had a red Converse, a pinkish kind of Converse, and I couldn't bring him. You sent me the picture, and I couldn't bring him into mind. And then suddenly I just saw him swaggering coming across the Grenville there in front of Miss Chaiton, Patrick and them house there, just swaggering. And I think old Georgie also had that kind of swagger, they had their dreadlock hat on and that kind of.
Tell you what they say about nobody.
They walk to the swagger.
Georgie, she couldn't see that. She couldn't see that in live video, so that's what we talked about.
And they had the bracelet. Don't forget, every hot guy had to have that bracelet, right? Hey, so Mr. Harvey, thank you. So you accepted a name like Lazy Man.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very lazy. Yes. Welcome, man. Welcome, everybody, man. This is Lazy Man. Lazy Man. My friend Gilbert Griffith. Nico, stop. Stop, Nico. Stop. Stop. I still love you, Nico. For just a little bit before I run. Yes, nice seeing you, Kenny. We go way back at Old Church School. Nico knows, I know, and Kaibo knew. Kaibo was in Bruno house with me, and Nico had to deal with that. Thank you very much. And they were in Pierre. It was Pierre, Bridgman, and Bruno. Kaibo was in Bruno with me. Yeah, lucky you. But I will tell you something. That man had been my friend then. I was very young in the 70s. Kaibo and I played for Old Church. Nico and Kaibo played before me because they say I was not good enough. But anyway, the good thing about it, we played against Methodists. And Nico, remember that goal. I think Baker is still thinking about it. Methodists had to give Old Church respect because of Mr. Gilbert Griffith goal against Baker in Victoria Park. I want to say that I watch him with his gymnastics on the stage in Old Church. I watch him play for Trenchtown. I think he's one of the best basketball players in Grenada, not only in Grenville, because he was gifted. I want to let people know he was a gifted, talented man. Anything that Kaibo touched, he excelled. And it was him to develop if he wanted to. But even when I speak to Eros, my dear friend, all you know, Eros Rapier, I always said a few years ago, I said we need to go home and recognize the most talented and gifted all-rounder in Grenville, and that's Gilbert Griffith. And he agreed. And I tell you, if I had the money, I'd have done it. And every time I came home, I went to look for him. I saw him at courts. I saw him down at the supermarket in Grenada. We always pound, do a pound. Kaibo was a great friend, a good person, a great guy. And God bless him, may his soul rest in peace. And to all the Grenvillites, this is Lazy Man, man. God bless us. Let's stay strong. Love each other. Tali, my dear friend, and Patrick, Nico, this is Lazy Man, man. Take good care. God is good. I'm getting ready to go to church. I'll be praying for all of you today. All right, and the family of Gilbert Griffith. God bless you all. Thank you, Edwin.
Can you tell us your proper name? That's one of the things I have problems with.
They would not know. If I say my name is Joseph, who is that? Victor, who is that? Paul? Joseph Victor Paul is my name. But Joseph. I prefer to be called Lazy Man.
Okay.
Lazy Man.
Thank you very much.
Nico have the history. He knows what I'm talking when I say Lazy Man. He will answer that for you.
So Lazy Man, how do you come about by that name? How did you get that name?
Oh man, it's my brother, and my brother and Kaibo was in the same class, and they sent him to get what they call dirty water for the pig, my grandfather. And he threw the bucket in the bush and he said there's no water. So when he left Old Church, they used to call him Lazy Man. When he left Old Church, he named it for me, and I love it. And I forgot the name. Let me give you a joke because you need to hear this. How many people remember the name, the person they call Eggy? Nobody remember that. Well, let me tell you the story quickly. There was a basketball white man by the name of Mr. Ryder. Remember him? He was coaching Carl and them, Ryder or whatever his name was. He sent me to get an eggnog. One Sunday I was at the park. I was not a player, so I was on the side. I only had egg and I ran and I got an egg. I brought a boiled egg for the man. And everybody on the court started calling me, Eggy, Eggy, Eggy. And I never came back to the court after that day. Thank you very much. I played basketball. I never came back to the market, bro. I stayed away from it because Eggy was my name. I didn't want that. So I kept Lazy Man. Thank you very much. All right, guys. So those are Victor Paul, man. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. God bless you all.
God bless.
All right. Bye, Nico.
Bye.
It's Calvin, are you there? Cynthia, can you see Calvin there?
Calvin, can you raise your hand if you're there and muted? Oh, okay. Yes, he's there. Okay, can you unmute?
Unmute.
Yes.
Yeah. All you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, man. Respect to all you and everybody, man. And give thanks to be on the line with all you. Mr. Boltail, respect to you.
Yeah, what's up?
I didn't know one after the Almighty God. Giving thanks.
Oh God, take it easy now. See you, man.
Yeah, man. Respect, man. You know what I mean? You give me respect to, you know what I mean, to say something about Lau, one of the most special man that passed through Grenville, idol to all of us. Everybody used to look up to Lau, you know what I mean, besides sports and everything. Lau was like a father, everybody friend, you know what I mean, that way we go to socialize, you know what I mean? And I guess everybody will wanna be like he then, you know what I mean? The boy is special to us, you know what I mean? Not just, you know what I mean? And well, I've been to him for a long while. When you go far and come back, and when I tell you that man always have a special love for his friends and everybody around just besides sports and all them things. Every time he see me, come and check me what happen. When we drink something, I say, Kaibo, good man. If he send me the gold, I say, what happen? He say, nah man, I want you to have it. Pass around the streets. All them vegan them, make sure you hit them a price. You know, so beside all the sports and thing, you know, Lau was a real loving man. He's a man that everybody gonna miss forever. But what I think, if we stick together and we always keep talking about him, he's gonna always be there. Because everybody have a piece of Kaibo. Everybody in Grenville have like a piece of him. You know what I mean? And you know that why we had to keep the vibes to keep him living on then. You know, I mean, that's one of the most important things that I had to see. You know what I mean? If everybody think about how and he works and everything, his life going to be continuing because, you know, I guess have a piece of that man. You know what I mean? And that's why we had to carry out the legacy, man. And respect to the family and Kevin and everybody too, man. You know what I mean? Oh, George, may be. Enough respect to you too, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, man. Let me give thanks, man. And respect for the just nothing. And you know what happening here? If we could do it again some other time, you know what I mean? It's a blessing, you know what I mean? Maji, OG.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I respect, man. Help me out here, man. Yeah, man. Represented.
Mr. Vincent, this is why we're doing the show. We want to make sure that the good times stay with us. We mourn his passing, but he left us with a great legacy, and that's what we're celebrating today. So thank you.
Gilbert Griffith, you know, we know him as Kaibo and now grew up looking at him participate in high jump, soccer, and basketball. He's definitely a sporting icon, and his contribution towards the development of sports in Grenville would never be forgotten. I looked at him high jump in Eastern Games on the Easter weekend, annually competing against top athletes and showing off his skill. I remember him jumping with his track pants while other athletes were struggling to clear those heights. He competed with the best, and he was of the best for many years in Grenada. For Trenchtown, he played as one of the top strikers and goal scorers. There was one evening Trenchtown played against Birch Grove, and Trenchtown won the game 13-1, and Kaibo scored 11 goals. So this is just a bit of his contribution and the skill set and the excellence that he brought in basketball. He represented St. Andrews for many years, and I remember getting onto the St. Andrews team as a teenager, and Kaibo was one of the senior players that we looked up to, and for many years he held those positions in the sports that he participated, excelling even up to the national level. And so his contributions will always be remembered. Kaibo Lau, Gilbert Griffith, the man himself, an original Grenville man, OGM to the world.
And that's what we're celebrating today. So thank you for your contribution. Edwin, I'll swing to you. We have two more people to speak, but while, Mr. Wayne Walker, if you're there.
No, he's not available. He don't reach me as yet. You know? He's supposed to come on the live with me.
So could I suggest we go to Old Georgie, and then after that, if there is any time, we could give it to his siblings, to his kids, to say something they choose to.
All right. I'm gonna try to share the picture while we.
Okay.
So and let me tell you one more thing. Always remember the person that you're going to invite them to come out on mute, because I was on mute all the time when I was trying to talk to me before. You understand?
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're gonna talk to Junior now. That's Old Georgie's brother.
Right. Yeah, that's the guy in the white outfit in the picture.
We're talking to Junior, and this is Kaibo.
Correct.
So far, nobody. Junior, maybe you'd be able to tell me how Kaibo got so many nicknames. Go ahead, sir.
You know what?
Georgie, are you muted?
Oh, Georgie, you're muted. Unmute.
I just need to cover for this one.
Can you unmute?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the original.
Yes. Thank you very much, Edwin. Thank you, the host. And my name is Junior Griffith, Junior Anthony Griffith. Everybody know me as Old Georgie. But before I started, I just want to share a little song here.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I once was lost, but now I'm found.
Who you going for the leadership boy? Who vote for? Yeah, vote right.
Michael,
Yes, thank you, Lord, for this Zoom meeting, and I just ask God to just bless everyone in this Zoom.
Amen.
In the house of mourning than in a banquet. In mourning, we recognize how precious life is, but in a banquet, we just give away life. So I thank God for this moment, because all things work for the good to those who love God. Kaibo did a lot of us to, a lot of awareness. So as a little brother to Kaibo, Kaibo is our original Grenville man. He born in Trenchtown, St. Dal Street, right by the old church. We born between churches. Old church on your right, Pentecostal on your left.
Yes.
We are witness down the road. Baptist walking with bell in front of the house. So we live right on the street there. If mommy want to beat us and we run out the road too quick, a bus could bounce us because the door is 3 feet away from the road, the asphalt. Right by Mr. Kit's shop. Mr. Kit used to go for water down in the pipe by the old church. And when he go down there, all he can and the countertop we used to take. So this is just the back. We go to school right in old church day. We coming home for lunch. We didn't used to eat in the school. They used to cook bulgur and all kinds of stuff like that. Kaibo is my big brother, so I was his first talker because anyway Kaibo is, you could look on the wing and there's some way watching him. So I was the first talker. When we was in gymnastics in old church, I was the smallest one. And when we make pyramids, I used to be right at the top. So we making pyramids, 6 in the bottom, 5, then 4, then 2, and I'm all the way on top. And we breaking down and we come down. Rafi was our coach. Yes, we used to be in choir too. Who was the best? We used to beat girls in choir.
Yes.
And when talking about taking chance, the furthest I could have reached is by Trenchtown Bridge But that time Kaibo could have been hanging all over the fish market already, all in the morning. I can cross the bridge. So them days when Kaibo get trouble and he up the road, Kaibo already still him for movies time. Mommy will lock the door. When she lock the door, Kaibo can come in. Okay, stay out too late. And Kaibo will take stone and pelt across the road, pelt on the house, and say, oh God, mommy, man, they want to kill me outside here. She said, I come in before they kill you, yes? You understand? He had that kind of technique and tricks, you know, how he do things. When mommy want to beat him, he'll play dead. You understand? He play dead and she will take him and go and bathe him and say, boy, do you want to dead in my hand here? You understand? All them things that is way back in St. Paul Street, young boy. He used to be among all them big man and them. Shoon and yeah, some guys used to dive lambi from Sotes, Cowhead and them. I used to hang with them on the bay. And when they gambling, he might be a little go for a day around them. I think one time he tried to scold Epali in the village, and Epali gave him a quarters. Kaibo get the quarters, but I crying. Yeah. Because he come home there and I tell you I'm sorry for him, and I crying with Kaibo. But I always, you know, looking up to him and always with him. Now, when we leave Trenchtown, we live just further up, we live in Durant Road. And around that time now, he become the herbalist. He become the herbalist. But before that, I could say, just how Tricks talk about the first spikes he had. Kaibo gave it to him. I had a Walkman that I got from St. Vincent when I used to skate. We went out there. And I had a Walkman. But Kaibo gave me the first boombox with a mic. I could have chat on the mic in that boombox. I never forget that. And if I could dub today, I give any credit to Kaibo. Because I used to give me them cassette, I play them cassette and I play them dub version. And if you don't know, I used to dub with my family, sort of. I used to say I have a bigger brother with they call Kaibo. Well, I have another brother with they call Pedro. But you know, my mother, they used to call her Glado. And my father used to drive the bus, them call him Olgo. We used to live on St. Paul Street just next to the show. You see, every time we have movies at them, there we go. So that is a kind of, I just get a little lyrics there, but Kaibo gave us the first microphone. I gave him the name Pupa Tayan from a singer in Jamaica. As Lazy Man, they gave me back the name Tayan. You understand? He didn't stay. Now, coming on the giving side, Kaibo, weed and stuff, he's selling weed. If he was organized like today, Kaibo would be a millionaire because he was the man that provided all the best weed. The farmers in the country, they used to say they don't give in nobody in Grenville the weed. No, they were selling weed for no Gargan, Vala, none of them. Kaibo, when they rip the crop, Kaibo. Sometimes when you go in the house, the bed full of weed, fresh weed, that way you drying the weed. Weed, branches of weed, bush in the house. That's where you drying the weed. Back in the days in Durant Road. And now he's selling the weed. There was an event that happened. Well, the police always used to run them in the night. And I'm talking about the risk taker now. That is, he never not walking on the edge. The police would race them the night and the weekend. I was still coming home with the weed. Saturday morning, the police coming and knock down the door to come and search. I will be putting weed in his sister and them panty drawer, in under the pillow, all kind of crazy stuff like that. So one Saturday morning, I took the weed, the police had them searching, and I go in the land close to us, and I put the weed in a hole. That time police searching the reason of Kaibo pillow, everything. Kaibo sleeping on the ground day, sleeping on the floor. And they searching Kaibo, they waking up and they don't even know what's going on. The police and them coming up, they don't get nothing, they gone. When Kaibo wake up, Kaibo think I take the weed because Kaibo say, no. When I bring him in the bush to go where the weed is, I put the weed in a crab hole so the crab take the damn weed. That's for evidence. If I tell you, Kaibo helped me to run fast because Kaibo used to run me around Grenville every single time. I will take the weed and buy snow ice and thing. When I sell a little weed and I buy snow ice and cake and things. He going down the road and one of the good customers see him coming up. You see the customers coming up and the customer pass him straight. He say, what, me, I want nothing to do. The customer tell him, I get from your brother a lot of mercy. So that's another chase again. So all that is a risk taking. Kaibo would be like in the days of the jewel and revolution and stuff, roadblock. And they're going up on the roadblock. And Kaibo have weed in the transport in. They tell him, Kaibo, throw the weed. Coming up to the roadblock, the man will not throw the weed. And for some other reason, he'll get through. Same way, living in some old house. They come to search the house again. He jump out the window. But they caught him. So Kaibo said the police caught him now. And they break his foot or something. They take Kaibo in the hospital. Nothing can happen to Kaibo. Let me tell you this. Kaibo said he can't feel in his foot. They scratch on the Kaibo foot. Kaibo don't smile, he don't cry, he don't punch. They do all kind of things to Kaibo. Kaibo just did like I tell you, when Kaibo could do this kind of things, he cut off his senses of one part of his body. You understand? My brother is great. And he was great. And these are just some of the little tricks in his, When it comes for trend setting now, I don't know if anyone of y'all ever know or remember vulcanize. Kaibo used to vulcanize the shoes.
Yes, the black stuff.
That's when you take the you take sneakers. When they buy a new sneakers and they bring it somewhere in town somewhere, and they put in this rubber, like the tire under it and thing it to the side, vulcanize. And then he always have clocks, pro kegs. Kaibo have a big afro. Well, I have some picture in the back there in the red. That way they in the big afro. When you see the afro come and them with the power sign, Kaibo had that. While those other guys have board handle afro comb. Back in the weed days, again, he had a weed roller, but he could have only rolled a small joint. That was too small for him. So he used to roll them big joints. The pocket just so full of weed. Going and sell by the cinema. Just selling. But then he went in Trinidad. He had a life down in Trinidad. When he come back now, he didn't want to be the hot stuff. Because he just come back. So I was the middleman. I used to hold the weed now. He cash in and he send them to me to get the weed. So I was in the danger zone while he was the cashier. Yes. So that was part of the little and big brother. Now, taking risk and unblocking, just as how Harvey was talking. All the pattern of Kaibo was not normal. He always think he could do something beyond the normal. So if they say they're jumping in long pants, I make sure Kaibo had a short pants and the long pants. But that's too easy. You understand? So he will take the challenge. This picture is where he went in Mexico. He got 3 medals.
Oh.
2 bronze, 2 silver, and a bronze. He came 2nd in high jump, 2nd in long jump, and 3rd in triple jump. When he came from Mexico, he brought a little souvenir that he gave me with a scorpion underneath some hard-earned reason. Well, that was all part of, little and big brother again. Kaibo was a giver. We'll ask Kaibo for money home. And Kaibo say, yeah, I'll give before I go. But Kaibo would dress half dressed, and he will go in the back of Padam and them houses opposite us, and he would do like he's gonna use the pipe in the back there. But Kaibo will go through the bush and go down the road, so you don't give us the money. So we think when he coming back, he have dressed all the time. Kaibo take his shot, his t-shirt or whatever, and push in front and gone. But I was like a ninja now. I would follow him now. Once he come back in 10 minutes, I'd gone down the road and look for him, and I would stand up and watch him. And somebody will come and say, Lau, give me $1 now. He give them 5. Lau, give me a quarter, he give them $1. And he would just be, all Nini and all these people in the bay, less fortunate. They come in, that was Miss Castle's shop that time. That is right by the, by where Free used to live.
Mm-hmm.
I've always given. All by the cinema, I tell you, I was stalking him, always stalking him. Always on the corner watching him. I'm asking for a spliff. He ain't gonna give me. I had to thief a spliff from him, but when them guys and them come, they shot $1, they shot 50 cents. He give them. If he rolling weed, he give them handful. He always giving. So when I was, all this stuff now, he always giving. He used to have a lot of girls.
Can I ask, how did he get the name Kaibo or Lao even?
Well, them bigger guys will know, because I remember I used to call him Kicking Kaibo, not even Kaibo. They take out the kicking.
Oh.
Because Kaibo could have kicked a ball from the halfway field and kick it in the V in the goal. Easy. Any penalty Kaibo kick, score. So just call him Kicking Kaibo.
Okay.
And he had a foreign day that he could have boot a ball to the same way. He used to score ball like he have a foot on his head. You understand? Yeah.
So George, you tell us about the girls then.
Yeah, so coming back to the girls now, Kaibo had a lot of girls. All them women and them now, we had children with married one another. For back in the days, they're still carrying. Oh, you remember when you leave me and go with this one? You remember when you leave me and go with this one? Because all of them, there was a timer. You understand? One for the weekend, one for the weekdays. If you have sports, when you have Methodist sports, you can see you is not for Methodist sports. This one is not for intercol. You understand? Well, like when basketball, they are wrong the court. They watching one another, they waiting to see who Kaibo will walk home with. You understand? So talking about that, at time we had someone in Montrose, one of Nelly daughter, and she had 2 friends. And I remember Weevil was one of Nelly daughter, Kaibo with the next one, and they had a next friend. And I was in training, so 3 of us, we walked from Grenville to Montrose, got a bond. Well, the man and them in front of the romantic, blah, blah. I just walking with this girl and I just walking, I can't keep up with them. You understand? And we walk all the way to Montrose, and I don't know how we make it back. We may get a ride or something. But that was just, part of it. Kaibo by the cinema and hanging out with the boys. And Kaibo just disappeared. And they were like, where Kaibo gone? Then they would see a woman coming and ask for Lao. I already see a way down by Tricks and them down there, by Dobby. And he will go through the breadfruit in the back by Daniel there. You understand? So he always on the move. So when you see he could jump and run, he training was running from girls and jumping. That's where training came from. So, but he was a good brother. He was a loving brother. Now, when he come out in the night,
I will share the screen again as you say that.
Yeah, when we sleeping on the floor. So when we sleeping on the floor, Kaibo would go by his girl and them in the night. When he come home now, he come and sleeping on the floor with me. But apparently now, he dreaming now, like me and him girl maybe having a little time, and he hugging me and touching me and kissing me. What I used to give him something. I said, "Boy, what? Wake up!" You understand? They carry that thing home, but me and him was sleeping on the floor. You understand? So me and him was real tight. And I mean, there is some intimate stuff, because one time he maybe sleep with some loose person, and this is for 18 and over right now, and he get a little club blouse. So the club blouse go all the way to the bottom here. So the club blouse get out of control. I was the barber. I had to shave my brother bottom. And I tell you, Kaibo say, I will give you some weed. Don't tell them boys and them nothing. You understand? Don't tell them boys. I shave him.
Why you spilling the man's secret now?
He dead now. He dead, my brother. I love him. So I shave him. The bottom was frightened. He was like, when he was raised. So he gave me the weed. I smoked the weed, and by the time I done the block, I'm making kicks and I laughing, and we chatting on the I travel, years pass, I go back and forth. A year I down there now. Kaibo telling me now, boy, you know, I had a boil by me bottom the boy. And I said, the only man that could already attend. I said, I'm going to nasty doctor. Damn old nasty doctor. What are you talking about? Yeah. But it was real fun, and I tell you, we always have a good time. Every time I travel, I go back home. It's me and him. But for the last 4-5 years traveling back and forth, he keep telling me, I want us to be friends, I want us to be friends. And he used to point out other brothers and stuff and say, I want us to be friends, I know we's brothers, but so he was asking for friend too, but I was his friend too. But with Dove, and he always, big me up, I big him up. And then he told me, if I remember when I used to come and party, so when I thought I was looking at him, he was also looking at me, because he told me when I used to come and party and I come in through the crowd, I used to have a dip going through the crowd because I don't want people to touch my clothes. And he said, when he go to party, he doing that. I said, well, nothing, but I say, you see, when you think, but yeah. So he was a real loving guy, and I love him, and I will always love him, and I can't stop crying, but I know he gave his life to Christ, because when we chatting about scriptures and, sharing the word, he always have a testament, a New Testament in his pocket, like a pack of card, because he always using it, and he know a lot. And I learned a lot from him, but I always wanted to be my own man. I always wanted to, when they used to call me Liquor Kaibo, I say, nah, I don't want to be Liquor Kaibo. I Old Georgie, I want to be Old Georgie, and that's Kaibo. You understand? Because so I thank him, and I love him for being my brother. I got myself in trouble years ago, and I've been in Richmond Hill. And when I came out, before I came out, I planning. If they lock you up for a while of time, when you come out, you want to go 100 places in one day. So you're planning, when I come out, I go down the beach, I go in here, I go in there, I go in there. And a list of things. And the day I came out, Kaibo was right at the gate in Richmond Hill. And me and Kaibo walked from Richmond Hill to Tempe, just talking. Just, a guy say, the man just come out, you're walking a man's. But that was love. He had lost it one time, and I coming down there, I will beat him. You touch the drugs and stuff, and I say, I going on in Grenada, and I will make him believe is the drugs he taking that he's getting the reaction. So I plan now, I will go down to Grenada, and I'll still stalk him. And anytime I see him take drugs, I will beat him. But he ain't gonna know it's me. So that was my plan. And I buy me ticket and everything, and I heading down to Grenada. And Kaibo gave himself, he went in the rehab. He went in the pink house. And I went up there and I visited him. I didn't have to beat him again. And he went in the pink house, and I went up there and I saw him, and I just cried and cried and cried. But he have a good way of thinking, because he knew he needed help. He would not just ignore something, because even a year ago, he was celebrating his Lacwa book, his society book, and I said, Kaibo, why you celebrating? How my society paid off, blah blah blah. But apparently he knew he was getting ready, Yeah, and I was like, wow. Yeah, he was celebrating, like he have his book and all that stuff.
Guys, could you mute your phone? The other who's not speaking, could you mute your phone, please?
Yeah, so he was an awesome brother, and I thank God for having a brother like that. And I would always miss him, but I know he gave his life to Christ, and I know he's saved and absent from the body, present with the Lord. So I looking forward one day, just how he came by the Richmond Hill gate to meet me. I know he will be there to receive me. He gone in front. And that's my contribution, and thank you everybody. And the line, and the way I get my name, is when they saw a horse race. When they saw a horse race in Simon, all Marmalade and Snake and all these guys used to run around the bay. You go around and come back up on St. Dawes Street, and they're making the rounds. And they're giving the names of horses, fast horses, Kaiser's son, and all them things. But I couldn't run fast as them. But now, before every race, there is a man that used to ride a mule going around the track to make sure the children is on the track. They call him Old Georgie. So I say, I will be Old Georgie. I will play the track. So I give myself the name Old Georgie to play the track before every race. So that's how the name come. All right. Thanks everybody. And Edwin, thank you, man. Thank you, everybody. Kevin, big up yourself. Hold tight. All who online, Cheryl, everybody. Man, the whole posse, Princeton we come from, and love y'all. I hope I contribute Good.
But
Thank you.
before we move it back to the host, I want
Yeah.
to say, after you, I don't think anybody could say anything anymore.
I don't think
I'm out.
either.
Thank you.
I am, you know, again, my condolences to you. And I could feel the love. I could see the love in the picture even.
Yeah.
And my memory, I didn't know you were brothers. You don't look alike or anything like that. And I can't remember seeing you guys together, but about it, you kind of walk the same way.
Yeah.
So
if you see Kaibo, you have to look around somewhere for me. I'm spying him.
Yeah.
I'm stalking him from a distance.
And I believe that to be true. I can see it now, coming down from by the cinema to by Patrick and them there. That's the memory that came to me of him swaggering down the street there. So I could have been when he was escaping somebody from the cinema or something.
Yeah, he always running. He always,
Edwin, time-wise, we're on the clock. Zoom has given us a few minutes extra. I don't know if you want to ask.
No, I just want to say there is so much more on the line that we wish we could, we have them say something, but we run out of time. Thank you. I know you have to go to work, and I know you go to work at 11 o'clock. For the fact that you're still with us, tell me the sacrifices you are making, and we cannot thank you enough. So one of these days we may have to give you an OGM status, you know, on the woman's side. But you know, we're working on it. Thank you so much, and much appreciated.
Well, let me just say, Grenville is our town. Like, you guys are the tongue boys. And I tell us, I remember those boys in Grenville tongue always had their bracelets on. And that was like one of the cultural iconic things, to just watch a guy swagger by with his bracelet. Some guys used to make it from forks, I think. Even, you know, or old spoon or something. But it was very attractive. And to all people here, and to Kaibo's, his proper name is Gilbert Murray Griffith. So whatever other name you know him as, whether you knew him in Old Church or competing on the soccer field. When Georgie was talking about gymnastics, it sounded like cheerleading to me, this pyramid. And so we have a lot of things that we were able to do. We just never knew how to organize it into, you know, the proper form or the proper system. And it's a pity that this gymnastics didn't continue, because I think we would have been, you know, on the world stage for that too. So I appreciate everybody being here. My condolences to the family. His niece, I see she put a few things up, one of the nieces, or maybe many of the nieces. I don't know if his children are here. I would let Edwin say the last word, but from me to you all, please accept my sympathy, and thank you for sharing your great memories. Thank you for giving us the ability to romance and yet another day. And we will continue this conversation, because we celebrate community pillars, and definitely Kaibo is one of Grenville's own community man. So Edwin, I'll let you close off.
Yeah, I will just close off by saying thank you to all for participating. Thank you all for the support and making this possible. But I mean, I'll just end by saying is that when you think about Kaibo, you think about somebody that will last generations. Thank you, and have a great day.
Bye, all.
Bye, all.